Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. Coco Gauff bluntly dismisses comparison to Victoria Mboko after loss. I don't think it's fair. Everyone expected Coco Gauff to take care of business in Montreal, but Victoria Mboko had other plans. It's one thing to lose a match, but it's another when a rising local star takes the spotlight. Gauff didn't just react with the usual press conference cliches. She opened up. Was this just a blip? Or did Mboko do more than just win a match? There's more to this story than the scoreboard shows. What did Coco Gauff say about Victoria Mboko after the Canadian Open loss? Mboko, the 18-year-old Canadian, sent shockwaves through the crowd at the Canadian Open in Montreal by beating top seed Gauff and punching her ticket to the quarterfinals. Entering as a wild card, Mboko only needed 62 minutes to cruise past the two-time Grand Slam champion, ending things 6-1, 6-4. After the match, Gauff got the inevitable question: does she see herself in the young Canadian? She shut down the comparisons, making it clear that Mboko brings something unique to the court, supported by a tight-knit team in the middle of a crowded field. She's a completely different player, completely different person. I've never been one to compare myself to others, whether it be like people comparing me to Serena or Venus, and I don't think it's fair to put that on her as well. Yeah, but I do see someone who is going to have a really bright future for sure, Gauff said in her press conference. Afterward, Gauff made it clear she wants a rematch somewhere down the line. I mean, I don't know her too well, but I've gotten to talk to her a little bit over the course since Rome. I think she has a great support system around her, and I think that's important when you're young and on tour. Yeah, hopefully we have many more battles, and I look forward to playing her again in the future, she added. Her singles run ended sooner than expected, but Gauff is now shifting to doubles and sets her sights on Barbara Krejcikova and Jelena Ostapenko. How did Coco Gauff describe her struggles against Victoria Mboko? Gauff couldn't hide how tough the match was. She admitted it. Facing Mboko threw her off, and she spent most of the match searching for composure. With Mboko playing at such a high level, Gauff said she felt out of sorts from the start. Coming into the match, I was so locked in. I tried to keep my composure as much as I could, especially playing in front of so many people. This is a very special experience for me, she said. Now, Mboko is moving on and will take on Jessica Buza's Monero on Tuesday, August 5th, with even more eyes watching her every move.
The second wind, Coco Gauff's Canadian comeback. The sky over Toronto wore a soft, diffused gray as if it, too, had paused in empathy. The Canadian Open was nearing its climax, but for Coco Gauff, the storm had already passed and left damage. She sat in the quiet of the locker room, racket bag at her feet, sweat drying into salt. Her match against Victoria Mboko had ended just an hour earlier. A brutal three-set battle, one that had seen her fight from behind, clawing her way through moments of doubt, only to fall short. Victoria had played with heart, fearless and fluid. A home crowd behind her, every point celebrated like a championship. But it wasn't the loss that stung Coco the most. It was the feeling of not being enough, despite giving everything. She closed her eyes. The ghost of the final point played behind her lids, her forehand catching the tape, bouncing cruelly back onto her side. The silence before the roar, the applause for someone else. She could still hear the echo. Then came a knock. 10 minutes, Coco. It was her doubles partner, Jessie Pegula, peeking in with a cautious smile. You good? Coco looked up. She wanted to say, no, I'm tired. I'm broken. I don't want to go back out there. But she only nodded. Yeah, let's do this. Doubles, the forgotten sanctuary. The thing about doubles, Coco thought as she laced her shoes again, was that it wasn't just about her. And maybe that's what made it different. Maybe that's why she found solace in it. There was a rhythm to doubles she loved, a dance of trust and timing, reaction and reliance. You didn't just fight for yourself. You fought for your partner. Jessie knew. She'd been there through Coco's highs and lows. Wimbledon, Cincinnati, the U.S. Open. The wins and the wounds. They didn't always need to talk. Sometimes it was a tap on the back or a look at the net that said, I've got you. The final was up next. Their opponents? The formidable Czech duo, known for their laser-like net play and relentless returns. It wouldn't be easy. But as Coco stepped onto the court, something shifted. Match point, rediscovery in real time. The first set started fast. The Czechs came out firing, taking early control with swift cross-court returns. Coco's rhythm faltered. She missed a poach, netted a volley. The sting from earlier still lingered. But Jessie, ever the anchor, leaned in at the changeover. "Breathe," she said, smiling. "Forget the last point. Just find the next one." And slowly Coco did. She stopped thinking about the missed singles final, stopped overanalyzing every stroke, and started feeling the game again, trusting her instincts, reacting to Jessie's movements, flowing with the play. They clawed their way back. The crowd, originally polite, began to stir, sensing momentum. When Coco ripped a backhand return winner to take the first set 7-5, a new energy pulsed through the arena. It wasn't the same energy as the singles court. It was lighter, freer, almost joyful. The second set saw rallies that made the stadium erupt. Jessie hit a reflex volley that spun like a frisbee. Coco chased down a lob and flicked a no-look forehand down the line. Classic Gauff magic. At 5-3, serving for the championship, Coco bounced the ball slowly. Her eyes met Jessie's. No words, just a nod. 4 points later, it was done. Tears and victory. As the final volley sailed long, Coco raised her arms, but the celebration was brief. Almost immediately, her eyes welled up. This time, the tears weren't for the loss. They were for the survival. Jessie hugged her at the net, whispering, "You're incredible." And for the first time all day, Coco believed it. Because in this moment, she had risen, not from defeat, but through it. Post-match interview, a new chapter. Reporters gathered in the mixed zone, lights flashing, mics thrust forward. Coco stood beside Jessie, the silver trophy glinting under the LEDs. A question came from the front. "Coco, how did you turn things around so quickly after the singles loss earlier today?" She paused, smile laced with vulnerability. "Honestly," she said, "I didn't know if I had it in me. After losing to Victoria, she played amazing. I was just mentally done. But then I remembered why I started playing this game. I remembered that there's still so much joy left, even after heartbreak." She glanced at Jessie, and this one right here reminded me that tennis isn't always about singles. Sometimes it's about who you fight beside. And today we fought together. Behind the scenes, reflection and silence. That night, back at the hotel, Coco finally had a moment to herself. The trophy rested on the table. The lights were dimmed. She opened her journal and began to write. August 7th, Toronto. Lost in singles. Won in doubles. Lost some belief. Found it again. Maybe that's the point of it all. Not just to win, but to come back, to keep showing up. Even when it hurts. Especially when it hurts. Victoria earned her win. But I earned something too. The reminder that my story isn't one match. It's a journey. And this chapter? It's about resilience. She closed the journal, exhaled, and looked out at the quiet Toronto skyline. Tomorrow would come with new challenges. New questions. But for tonight, Coco Gauff was at peace. Epilogue, more than a title. The media headlines the next day spoke of triumph, of redemption, of the Gauff and Pegula powerhouse sweeping Canada. But Coco knew the real victory was less visible. It was in the choice to return to the court, in the strength to smile after tears, in the decision to turn a crack into light, not a scar. Because greatness isn't just built on wins, it's built on what you do next. And Coco Gauff, she was just getting started.